Believe it or not, once upon a time, this was a Mercedes AMG GT. But the previous owner of this car crashed it into a wall, causing damage to the entire car. And that's when I took over ownership of this car, and we're trying to save it. But this rebuild is not going to be an easy one, because I spent almost every penny I had at the time buying this car from Copart. And that, combined with Mercedes-Benz parts being so expensive, means that I probably only have one chance to get this right. In the last video, we repaired the inner wing and the rad support. But that is just the tip of the iceberg. There is so much to do on this car. And the first job for this video is going to be the windscreen. And I could have got aggressive and tried kicking it out from the inside, but I thought it's probably best to get a professional in to do the job. But it didn't look easy given the condition of this screen. So a huge thank you to Archie at AGM Windscreens for getting that out for me. There is glass everywhere, so it needs a good clean up, but we can now crack on with the interior. Because inside here we've got the dashboard, the steering wheel and two knee airbags gone, so we need to repair that before this car can go back on the road, and the first step to doing that is getting the seats out. And in order to do this, I had to plug the doors back in to be able to move the seats, and I can take out the 4 bolts, one on each corner of the rails, and unplug the seats to get those out. But I'd be lying if I said I was looking forward to this job, because one of the most daunting jobs on a crash damaged car can be the interior. Because it's a scary and time consuming job changing a dash. It's one of the biggest jobs that you can do. And the last thing that I want to do is break anything on this interior, because it could be super expensive. But I'm not going to let that stop me from trying, so we're now going to try and dismantle this complete interior in order to get this dashboard repaired. But it's not going to be easy, and especially considering I've got no training. Now, I've done 1 or 2 dashboards before in the past, but never on a car so complex as this. Now, with jobs like this, it's not something that everyone has done, so it's not typically a guide on the internet or on YouTube on how to do it. But the way I've approached it is gently prying and pulling at things which look like they're clipped in until I can see a point of resistance. Once I find that, I can then remove whatever's in the way and then start taking out the bit that I was trying to take out to begin with. So the first piece I found which I could remove is the side paneling on the center consoles, and then once I got that off, that revealed all of the bolts for the glove box, so I can remove those, unplug the plugs, and that can come out too, which removes the knee airbag with it as well. But to strip the driver's side down is never quite as easy, because there's a lot more stuff on this side, because, well, this is where the driver sits, this is where all of the controls are, and all of this stuff really gets in the way. So it was off with the steering wheel, which just releases with the centre bolt and unplugs from the back. And then I'm going to tape the clock spring into place. This is the section on the back which controls the buttons and everything on the steering wheel, because if this gets spun around too many times, there's a ribbon inside which can snap. And now I can take off the centre trim on the driver's side and try and figure out how to get this centre console piece out, but it didn't want to come out without a fight. Until I found 2 lovely hidden bolts in the centre armrest which were holding it in place, and I can move that out of the way and get the armrest off too. And with all of that removed, that unlocks the next level of getting this interior removed for me, because it shows some bolts which were hiding for the centre air vents. Then I can whip the clock spring off. And also the dash clocks too. Well, this is where we're up to. That's one pretty strict interior, but we're not done yet, because we've got to get the main dashboard out in order to change the dashboard airbag. I'm still trying to figure out how to get this screen out, because it's not particularly obvious if there's any screws or not, and I don't want to just go pulling at it. But I'm sure some of you are curious how I'm trying to keep everything together. Well, I've got 3 pots for the bolts. 1 for the left side, 1 for the middle, and where's the one for this side? There it is, and 1 for this side. Not many on this side yet. That at least gives you a good indication of where you're trying to put things back, and makes things that little bit easier. But we can now start to see some of the bolts which you've got to remove to separate the dash from the dash frame behind it. But I really could do with getting that screen out.
Hi guys, it's Nicole.
Look who's come to help. You ready to take a look?
Yeah, I'm gonna have a quick look. Okay, I've looked at that. Oh my god.
Is that a bit scary?
Oh my good Jesus. Oh, no window screen.
No, window screen's gone. Basically, my plan of action from here, I've just got the last bit out. Yeah, I'm going to still saw it, that's right.
Are we using this dash again?
No.
So let's just chop it.
So we've just got a bunch of bolts like this here, like this one, which I was just mid taking out, which I think is just what's holding the dash to the frame now. So we've just got to find all of those.
Have we got dash? You got dash and frame, or just dash?
Just dash.
Okay.
But I think from what I can see, the dash frame looks alright on this one, which is better than on the X3 because the dash frame is ruined. If the dash frame's bad on this one, I'm not going to be too happy, but it is what it is. So now we can whip out the radio, which is held in with a couple of bolts and loads of plugs on the back, and with that out we can now remove this top cover on the dash, which reveals a speaker, and also a couple of bolts going down to the back of the screen, meaning that we can finally pull that out. You ready?
Yep, ready.
Okay, I'm ready. So under here there should be a bunch of T20s. There's glass everywhere still. Right.
Smashing day, Chris.
I know, yeah, it's cracking. Oh, there we go, there's one. We might be here a while. In the pot, number 2.
Nice jumper you got on there, mate. I like them colours. Best colours in the world.
I'm still yet to drive a Mercedes, so I can't give my verdict yet. I might be a Mercedes fanboy after this car. How would that make you feel about me, Heath?
Throw the camera. Wow, he's actually working. Go on, pull it, go on.
Just yank at it.
You can't do it.
Concentration.
Concentration. Show that concentrating face. Constipated face.
Oh, you see that? About to be eye out. Right, we're not sure, but we may or may not have all of the screws out which hold the dash to the dash frame. If we have, it should just unclip now. It might take a bit of brute force. What do you reckon? You think it's going to happen?
Brute force.
I'm not a brute force kind of man when it comes to dashes, but it is moving, isn't it? Yeah. Let's give it a try. Tough, isn't she? She's a tough old gal. Ooh, you fighter.
Well, that's out.
Where's this one holding it? Where's the last place it's in? Or has it just slipped in the carpet here?
Is it?
Might be. Still got some stuff to unplug here. That was, I've never seen a dash come out like that before, Heath. Probably out the door would be easier really, wouldn't it?
Yeah, she's got that steering back.
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah, boy.
Got it. Boom.
I'm stuck.
You stuck?
Okay. Yes. That was actually quite a good job. I enjoyed that.
Yeah,
job I'm not going to enjoy.
Put it back in.
Exactly that. Uno dashboard removo, and well, it wasn't the worst one I've done by a long way. I was expecting it to be a lot more faffy than it was, and we managed to take it out in, well, pretty much one piece, keeping this section and this section together, even though they kind of bolt together from the back, which was good. Now we have got a new one, and it's not what you guys asked me to get. Because I said, should I go black on black or go for the black and Alcantara one? And all of you pretty much said go for the black on black one with the black stitching. So I did exactly the opposite and got this. There we go.
The black on
yellow, yeah.
Yeah, man.
I think that looked good, don't you, Heath?
Yeah, man.
It needs a bit of contrast in there. We'll be able to get the little marks out, the kind of storage marks, but yeah. I think black, yellow stitch on a blue car, contrasting colour, should look nice.
Bosh. Yellow calipers.
Maybe, that's not a bad idea, not a bad idea. Maybe some yellow seatbelts.
Ooh, gangster.
Now, it is a bit dirty, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is a bit dirty.
Your old forte company.
It is, yeah. Rumour has it, I used to clean some things, so let's get this cleaned up first, then we'll tip it upside down, swap over what needs to be swapped over, and we can start putting this in, Heath, to be fair. Cool, right, let's go. So we can now start preparing the new dash ready to go in, and though it doesn't match Roger Taylor's original spec on this exact car, it does mean that it's going to be a little bit more out there, a little bit more in your face, a little bit more sporty, and just generally a little bit more exciting, I think. Because there was nothing particularly wrong with the grey leather, it wasn't really to my taste, and at the end of the day, when you're rebuilding a car like this, it's the perfect opportunity to kind of respec it how you would have had it, which is exactly what I'm doing. Okay, so the new one is now assembled to how we took the old one out. There's nothing else to do but give it a go and try and get it in. It still needs a bit more clean up, but I can do that while it's inside the car, it's not a problem. Just gotta make sure we plug everything in really. If we don't plug everything in, then we've got to take it all back out again, which is going to be a problem, Ethan. So we can get the new dash inside the car and start plugging in some of the things on the back of it, making sure that we don't miss one, because if we do at this point, that means that we may have to take the whole dash out again to get it working correctly. Once we're happy we've got everything plugged in, we can push the dash in onto its clips and then start fastening it into place. I can't stress how big a job this is. Me from 3 years ago would be so proud right now. But now it's back in with some of the trim pieces, so in goes the clocks. Followed by the clock spring. And we also can't forget this. That would be a bad day, wouldn't it, Heath?
Yeah, very.
We don't want to forget this. This is the airbag ECU, and this is going to need resetting. To make sure that we've got no warning lights on the dash, so we've got to remember to set that out now, which Ethan is doing, and we can get that reset before the rest of the interior goes in. Precision. So with the airbag ECU in hand, I can hop in the car and head over to Birmingham to pay a little visit to my friend Mark at Mercedes Keys and Coding, and he is going to reset this airbag ECU to make sure that when we put it back in, we don't have any airbag related faults, because if we do, we may have to strip that interior completely down again. Now I'd love to tell you what he did, but I have no idea. All I know is that now when we plug it back in, it should work 100%, so thanks very much to Mark for that. Well, the dash is making its way back in, but it's time for some upgrades because we've been sent this by the guys at Motive Supplies. I'm going to leave their details in the description. And what this is essentially is to activate the Apple CarPlay on the standard head unit. Now, if you've watched my channel for a while, you'll know that I love having Apple CarPlay in cars. It just makes them that bit more modern, especially when this is like a 2016, so the screen will be all right, but this feature wasn't really in then, so it just makes every car a lot more usable, I think, anyway. So we're going to try and get this in the car before all the other bits go back in. And it's not too bad to do. All you do is put this in between the factory harness and the radio. This into the box, which goes about here. And with all the other little bits and bobs plugged in, we can tuck this behind the dash and then plug in the factory head unit. So then on the factory head unit, we can plug in this new blue wire into this one. There we go. And then that goes into the old thing that used to plug into there. And now I've just swapped these two orange wires from the original plug to this one. We can plug everything in, get it tucked away, and hopefully have Apple CarPlay. Nice.
Mercedes.
Mercedes.
Chris.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Mercedes. Mercedes.
Mercedes.
Mercedes.
So after a bit of messing about, we managed to get everything plugged in and test the Apple CarPlay on the screen, and as you can see, it looks perfect and is going to make the car's infotainment system much more modern and up to date and usable with modern technology. If you want to grab one, they're in the description. But now we can start reassembling the rest of this interior, getting that center console in place. But if you are enjoying this video up to this point and you're not subscribed, please do consider doing so. It is completely free and massively helps the growth of the channel, helps you see the videos that you want to watch, and also helps us go for bigger and better projects in the future. Right, we've got a small problem with the dashboard airbag because the wiring has melted into the blown airbag, which means that that section of loom is no longer usable. So to get around that problem, we have picked up a new section of loom. That's nice, isn't it, Heath?
Yeah, man.
Loads better than yours.
It just looks like it's just come out of the factory.
I know, you'd never know, mate. You'd never know. Yellow plug goes to the inside. You can only blame yourself if the airbag don't go off.
Yeah. I'd rather it not go off, to be fair.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Where's it plugging into, G?
Into the hole.
I can't feel a hole. I actually can't find it.
You're useless. Do me to it. I can see where I need to put it, I just can't quite get it, you know.
Is it in?
Ooh, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah?
It's in. Wait. Now it's in. Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy. Got it in.
Yes. There we go, last plug. Bish bash bosh. Oh, is it even that plug? Dashboard airbag. Installation completed.
Airbag, bang.
Dashboard, bang. Well, we are getting there. We now have the dash in, the air vents in, the centre trim in with all the controls, and the armrest. This is actually the original armrest, but you may notice something different about it, which is it is now Alcantara. The exact same colour as the lower section of dash here, which is now Alcantara. Ethan's down here taking the calipers off. He's got his assistant, Champoo. And while they're doing that, I am going to tackle the first bit of maintenance inside this engine. And that comes courtesy of the guys at Pipercross. They've sorted out some new air filters for the GT to make sure that it's going to be filtered properly. Is that your answer to everything? As also, I've just noticed a problem.
What?
They've only sent me one. I think. Oh no, there's two in there, there's two. My bad, there's two. So whilst Ethan works on taking off the brake calipers to send those off for a refurbishment and a fresh lick of paint and maybe a new colour, I'm working on taking the old air filters out and swapping these out for the upgraded Pipercross ones. Right, new Pipercross filters installed, lovely job. We've got the two front calipers off. How's the back's going to go, Eth?
Dangerous, mate.
Oh, really?
Nah, that's sound.
Okay.
We'll find out. Just trying to get this glove on.
Where the f*** I'll find you? So with the fronts already off, the back ones are a little bit more fiddly because we have to take the drop link out in order to be able to get these off. But once those are off and the handbrakes are unplugged, they're ready to go too. So we are blitzing through the repairs on the AMG GT. We've got the brake calipers off, they're down at the body shop, gonna get painted. We've got the dash in, but not quite complete yet because there's some bits which we've had to send off to the trimmers, i.e. the seats, and some of the other parts which are in grey leather, which aren't gonna match that new dashboard and interior look which I'm going for. So we're pushing on through and we're making good progress, but there's still quite a lot more to go, and I'm going to need your guys' help to do that. And you guys have blown me away with the response on some of the merch which we've done. We've got these oversized t-shirts with the buy it, fix it, break it design done by Helen Stanley, the pop artist, and that features the wide body i30 and in the 3 stages of, well, the project basically, buying it, fixing it, and then sending it. If you would like to grab yourself one of these t-shirts, they are oversized. This is me wearing a large, and I think we only have a few mediums and one large left. So if you want one, make sure to go grab one. The link's gonna be in the description. But anyway, yeah, we're still waiting for the interior parts to come back, but that's not such a problem because there's still plenty more to do here. But the question is, where do we go next? So on the engine side of things, we need to get a rad pack in to be able to run this engine up to temperature, run it for a long time, and to get coolant in the system, and the oil coolers and transmission coolers on. And also the charge cooler coolers. Lots of coolers. But then bodywork wise, the car still needs a lot as well. We need a complete front end. We need a pair of headlights. We need to get the doors repaired. But then also, we've got the rear quarter repairs to do too. So on the rear quarter as a whole panel, we've got a bit of damage up here, a pretty minor dent which should be savable. We've got damage on this A-pillar here, but fortunately the rest of this quarter's okay. But the big daddy is this dent here. It's pretty nasty, but it's not horrendous. I'm sure I've seen worse saved, not by chocking it full of filler, because that'd take a lot, but by pulling it. I'm hoping, even though it's an alley panel, it can be pulled. Let me know what you guys think, or if you're a body shop, do you reckon you can do this and you're fairly local? Please let me know, because ideally I'd like to save putting a new quarter on this because it's going to be a whole nother job. As much as I kind of want to do it, I also really don't want to do it too. We have piece back from the trimmers. I'm having these all done at ATS, Auto Trim Systems in Beaumont Leys and Leicester. I've seen their work before, I know it's good. They did some work on the Jaguar F-Type dash for me, and a few of the other bits on that too. And they're doing the rest of the bits which need to match the new dashboard to make sure it's going to be bellissimo. So now we can get a real good idea of how this is going to look and how it's going to match to the rest of the interior pieces which haven't been done by them. So just for comparative sake, I can loosely get this clipped in and we can compare how that is going to look in comparison to the old style and also with the new dash which we've got in. I'm not going to get too strung up on getting it fitting 100% because I know it's going to come back out to put the glove box back in, but you now get an idea of how that interior is going to look. And I think those fine little yellow details will accent the dark blue paintwork beautifully. I love a contrasting interior to the exterior. Some people don't like it, but I do, and it's my car, so that is perfect for my taste. But I think we've made pretty good progress on this interior and on the rest of the car too, for that matter. So if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe as well if you're not already. I really need your support, and I will catch you next time.